Mugging is the first episode of Series 3 and it really feels like the start of a new chapter of our characters' lives. Nancy is gone, Jeremy is going out with this new character Michelle, Big Suze is back, and Mark is on an actual date with Sophie. Plus, as well as the change of story-wise, this is the first episode of the show to use a studio set for Mark and Jeremy's flat rather than an actual on-location flat in the building, so moving into this new series definitely does feel like something new. Speaking of Michelle, she's mostly like your typical one-time appearance character in that she's only really relevant to the plot of the episode she's in, rather than the overall story of the entire show, but the fact that she's in a relationship with Jez is pretty interesting. I'd have liked a little more time with her though, as she's only seen 3 times despite having the foundations of a possibly more entertaining character. Personality-wise, she kinda reminds me of Tony, who I'm a big fan of, but she's definitely not as memorable as her. I think the whole joke with Michelle's friend Vicky, with the threesome partner, being disinterested and rude to Jez makes the joke much funnier than the typical route you'd expect a gag like this to go, which would be having her be incredibly ugly or morbidly obese or something. Jez thinks he's going to get a threesome with his girlfriend and a woman he's completely infatuated with, but instead it's this woman who doesn't give a shit about him, who wants to just get everything over with so she can catch a train. I think that's a much better joke than her just being fat and ugly. This episode has some great little details, like an actual close-up of Mark's travel card showing they went out their way to make a prop for it, and also that when Jez asks Mark where all the IKEA candles are, Mark doesn't answer, but later on when he gets Sophie back to his bedroom, we can see the candles are absolutely everywhere in there, so Mark knew where they were, but he just didn't want to say in front of Sophie and ruin the surprise. The whole thing with Mark trying to avoid sex with Sophie is a subversion of what you'd normally expect, I guess. His shame and paranoia over being mugged completely fucks him up. Normally all he wants is sex with Sophie, but now he's the one who's not up for it and is trying to back out of it. I would say it's interesting, but this idea has already been done a few times in the show by this point, and so Mark continually managing to somehow ruin his relationship with Sophie just feels inevitable at this point. Though I can't say that his fuck-ups with Sophie aren't entertaining at least, because they definitely are. Mark's justification of a knife as just a rather efficient time-saving device is such a Mark thing to say, and it's great, but Sophie is completely justifiably shocked by it.